Although I've been offline a while, equality has still been striking in my absence. I have a backload that is just getting bigger and bigger, so I realized I needed to start pumping out more content now. I thought I would come back with a bang. Instead, I just came back with a car crash. As we are all informed, the dangers in flying can be catastrophic. But there are certain elements of the aforementioned dangers for which we can prepare ourselves, unlike the focus of this next story. Teacher dies after swallowing bag of cocaine at airport. A British teacher accidentally killed herself with a lethal overdose after she swallowed a bag of cocaine in the first-class airport lounge whilst waiting to fly home to Dubai. Victoria Buchanan, 42, the meaning of life, ingested the resealable bag when it was thought she realised she still had the drugs in her possession, whilst drinking a glass of champagne after she checked in with her luggage. This was her first mistake. I have never taken any illegal drugs, but even I know what is required is to put the drugs in condoms and use an aid to swallow them. Having said that, I just had an image of eyebrows being raised by a woman running into a pharmacy in an airport screaming, "Quick! I need a packet of condoms and some lubricant." The mother of three had earlier acquired £200 worth of the Class A drug during a family visit to the UK with her husband Mark, a shipping company boss. As all loving, caring, responsible parents do when they're out for a weekend. At this point, I also want to point out that she was a teacher. Call me old-fashioned, but I would prefer to leave my kids in the custody of someone not coked up. She had £60 worth of cocaine left when she decided to swallow it in the hope of getting it back home. And moments later, she collapsed with a severe seizure when the bag burst in her stomach. In this case, home being Dubai, where they are really known to be very liberal with their drugs policy. Maybe she got off lightly as opposed to the situation where she had successfully transported the drugs only to be caught at the other end. Onlookers at the Manchester airport initially believed Mrs. Buchanan was having an anaphylactic shock and administered an EpiPen she had in her handbag for a palm oil allergy, but she died later at Wythenshawe Hospital. The bag of cocaine was discovered during a post-mortem. Her elderly parents knew nothing of her taking drugs. Mrs. Buchanan, originally from Kilmarnock, Scotland, had moved to Dubai in 2010 and worked as a teacher in the United Arab Emirates, whilst her husband was believed to be head of fleet personnel for a shipping firm. Her husband told the Manchester hearing, "We were aware she would take small amounts of cocaine occasionally, and it was something we did together. I had left the UK a few days before. Not a lot was left. Not that it matters now." Okay, so he was aware of her drug habit and encouraging it. I'm going to give him a little more leeway though, as he is not directly responsible for someone else's kids. Detective Sergeant Alex Wilde of Greater Manchester Police said, "I would say it is a medium-sized bag containing 2 to 3 grams, but it's not always the case that bags are full. We watched her on CCTV. There was no suggestion she was approached. There was no third-party involvement. That was the conclusion. There were no charges brought or further actions taken." The gender conviction gap gets larger. I am shocked at the dereliction of duty in the police not pressing any charges against a drug smuggler just because she was female. And dead. Why she took such a risk will never be known, but I'm satisfied it was done of her own volition and there was no coercion or threat. There was no criminal activity and no charges have been brought. OMG, I was just joking about the gender conviction gap thing. but I'm pretty sure possession of drugs, purchase of drugs, and drug smuggling are crimes. I have no understanding of why Victoria would wish to have smuggled cocaine or why she would take the risk of doing so. My conclusion of how she came to her death is one of misadventure. I give you my sympathies for the sad loss of your wife and your daughter. That's in respect of the husband and the parents. My question is, what on earth was she thinking? You and me both, mate. At this point, there is nothing really much more I can add to this, other than the original story is in the description. The only thing I can say is, just remember, your sole purpose in life is to serve as a warning to others.